Hey, how's it going? This is Brenton Lee, and you're here on set with us as we shoot our campaign for the Brenton Lee Pro Flat Iron. I love using flat irons, whether it be for competitions, whether it be for editorial styling, or getting glamorous looks for red carpet. Here's our first model. This is Sam. She's going to be our editorial look. I love mixing textures when we're doing editorial styling, whether it be kinky textures, straight textures, or even just really soft, wavy textures. So let's first start off by talking about how we sectioned off her hair and got it prepped. I took a section from the corner of each eyebrow and went really, really deep here into the back, into the crown section. Now this top section, I used my flat iron and just really gave it a nice bevel just to give this hair a little bit of curl. So let's go ahead and finish this. I have two more sections here. I like pulling this hair straight up. I'm going in with my flat iron close to the scalp, giving it a nice, pretty much like a 180 turn, and pulling that hair straight up, just to give this hair some texture. And you'll see the style that we're going to finish with. It's going to have a nice pin-up rolled style. So now we're just giving the hair just a little bit of bend so that this hair will be easier to work with. If we left it straight, it'll be really, really challenging to put that pin-up style in. So just going in section by section, sections not too big, so that we can really set this hair very well. Okay, here's our last section here. Again, going in with the flat iron, just holding that hair straight up because I want these curls to be right on base. Going in with the iron. And notice I close my iron on the way out just so we don't have a line of demarcation there. Just giving it a nice half turn. And then just work slowly through the ends. And again, just to give this hair a little bit of bend so when we finish our style, it'll be nice and easy to put it in. Using some single prong clippies just to set that. So that's how we're going to set that top. And now everything was just going straight back, everything going in the same direction within that mohawk section. Now let's move on to our ponytail. Securing the ponytail, I did a directional blow dry so that this ponytail really sat in really, really smooth and sleek. Again, we're talking about editorial styling, so having those different textures. So we got a really smooth texture, and now we're going to work on our kinky texture here. This technique that we're actually about to do is actually really cool. Just trying to get something different, you know. I feel like when you're doing hair, it's about having fun and also challenging yourself with different textures. So as I'm going to section out this ponytail, I'm going to take really, really, really small ribbon sections and then section out this ponytail. Now this technique is actually pretty fun. Just gives you a different texture, something that you don't see every day. Again, this might not be something you do in the salon, but will have a really, really cool finish to it. As I'm prepping this, I'm going to use Wella's Thermal Image. And the reason why I like this is because it has a nice hold, but it also has a little heat protection in it as well. Okay, so taking section by section, I'm just going to lightly mist it on, keeping that spray about, I would say, about 16 inches away from the hair. Okay, and you guys can see my section really, really small, really, really thin. I'm going to take a foil. Okay, I'm using a foil. And now this foil, when you're picking out your foil, make sure this foil is longer than her hair. Okay, I'm going to put that in, make sure it's nice and flat, and it's going right up to the base of the ponytail. Now after I put that in, I'm going to give it a nice fold, but then I'm going to fold it one more time just so I can make sure the hair is not going to come out of the foil. Okay, you want to really crease this nice. It'll make your life a lot easier once you crease this. Okay, then I'm going to start on the ends, and this is the reason why you want this foil longer than the hair. So when you actually start folding this, you won't have hair that's coming out of the foil. So I'm going to fold this pretty much like a zigzag section. So under, over, under, over. I would say the depth of that is probably about an inch. And you're gonna do this all the way until you get to the base of the ponytail. So yes, if you have a girl who has long hair, this might take some time. But I guarantee, even though this is a tedious set, it comes out amazing to get really, really cool texture when you're doing editorial styling. So as I work up, just keep going back and forth with that fold. Now what I'm gonna do is grab my Brenton Lee Pro flat iron, okay? Really just push this close, okay? And I'm gonna grab my flat iron and give it some heat to let that section set. I'm probably gonna do one more section for you guys so that you can see it. Okay, again, this is a really tedious set, and I'm gonna just take my time and do it because I want a really good outcome. Okay, so just heat that up. Don't be afraid to really press on this foil. Again, she has thick hair and long hair, so if it just kind of opens a little bit, that's totally fine. Not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna take my next section. Again, small, really, really fine ribbon sections. And notice I started on the bottom of the ponytail. And that way it'll be a whole lot easier for us as we're working up this ponytail that the hair won't be in our way. So we're just taking sections, dropping them down. If we started on the top, it'll be a whole lot harder. So a nice ribbon section. Notice I'm really combing this out, getting it nice and flat. I'm gonna go in with the thermal image. Again, a nice hold, but then also a good heat protection as well. Really smooth this out and really get ribbon sections. You don't wanna have really clumped up sections. Nice, flat ribbon sections. I'm gonna put my foil in there. And notice I kind of already have my foils a little pre-folded, which just makes it just a little bit easier for me to go in and secure that. So once we do one fold, now I'm gonna secure it on the open end of the foil so that it's locked in there. And keep this foil right at the base of the ponytail. Okay, and we'll crease that really good and then start your fold. So up, down, just going back and forth. Now the smaller the texture, the smaller the fold will be. If you just want a wider texture, then you can do a bigger fold. I kind of want about an inch section so that when we let this hair down, it'll have a nice texture. Okay, so really creasing that away. Taking our flat iron. Don't be afraid to just go on there and push on this foil. Yes, the foil does get hot if you sit there and hold it. So make sure you're kind of holding a section, move your flat iron, hold a section. Okay? And that's exactly what we want to see. So we're going to go ahead and finish this ponytail. We already set the top. We'll finish setting the ponytail, and then we'll come back to show you guys the rest. Now, I know I said I was going to just leave these down, but since Sam has such heavy hair, I decided I'm going to grab these sections and actually secure them with a clippy here, just so this set will be a lot stronger. So I'm going to just bring these back, take a clippy, and then just put that right on there so that this set will be a lot stronger. So now Sam is set. Now just to recap, again, editorial styling, it's about clashing textures in my opinion. So we have this smooth texture. Again, we have this top that we set with the flat iron, just taking everything straight back and setting those curls. Now let's check out the texture that we have underneath here. So let's take out this clip. Just be very gentle, not to pull her hair, of course. And we start opening this and you pull this out, you see you get this really just cool, different texture, more of a kind of zigzag texture. Now again, when we finish taking these out and we just start really going in there and messing with it and teasing it just a little bit, we can really get this full and have a really cool texture with it. So let's finish taking this out. So now we're working on our last foil. And as you see, as we start taking these foils out, you get such a cool, different texture here. Just playing with the little zigzag here. And again, after we finish our front, we'll come back here and really just start really building this up into a really cool, almost frizzy editorial texture. So now let's start taking out the top here. And as we said earlier, this is going to be pretty much like our pin-up look here in the front. Okay, taking out this last curl here. So what I'm gonna start by doing is just brush this out. Don't be scared to just go in and really start brushing this out here. Okay, turn towards me just a little. Okay, and I'm gonna bring this all forward. Now that we have just a little curl in here that we put in with the flat iron, it's gonna be a lot easier, you see, to manipulate. So I'm gonna bring this all forward and really making sure we have a really smooth ponytail. And what we're gonna do now is take this and really smooth this out. Want to get all the flyaways. And after we do that, I'm gonna take an elastic, just a little hairspray, just to really get these flyaways. So after that, we're gonna take a rubber band, excuse me, I said elastic. I'm gonna take a rubber band and secure a ponytail right below her hairline. Okay, and I'm gonna go probably about 3 times just so this is nice and secure here. Okay, again, we want it smooth, but it doesn't have to be too perfect. Again, we're talking about editorial styling, so having a little texture is not a problem. But here with our ponytail, we really want to have that nice and smooth. So now what I'm going to do is take another rubber band and I'm going to secure it not too close to the ends, but I would say about 2/3 of the way down. And this is going to help us have control with the hair when we put our hair form in. I'm going to use this hair form here to really give it that pin-up style. So now after that, I'm going to put this form on and just start to roll it up. Let's turn so you can see. Start to just roll this up right on the forehead. And I want this to be nice and balanced. Start over. I want this right in the middle. Okay, make sure those ends are in. We're going to actually use this to start having that kind of pin-up feel here. Now, once you get that in, I'm not going to secure the form yet on the head, but what I'm going to do is just start to massage the hair and start to pull this out just so I can start seeing the shape that we're creating. And you can see, since we put some curl in that hair, it's a lot easier to manipulate. So once we start pulling this over and really getting that look that we want, then I'll take my bobby pins and we'll start to secure this right on the base. So I want to get right on the base of the form and into the base of that ponytail so that it's really locked in there. And I'm going to take a couple bobby pins so that this foundation is really solid here. Okay, and what we want to do is just start to play with this hair, start pulling it, seeing where it'll look good, taking our bobby pin and really securing pretty much like a pin-up style here in the front. And I think what really makes this look really cool is the shape that we're getting and having this shape just kind of dropping down in her face just a little bit. And just start to play. We can use a little bit of hairspray just to control some of these flyaways. I'm gonna use my comb here just to get some of these hairs up out of the way. And the key is you really want to make sure this form isn't being seen. So don't be scared to just kind of pull and make sure the shape still looks good, but we want to really make sure that we can't see that form in there. And it doesn't have to look too perfect, as long as we see that shape in there. Again, editorial styling it's about the shape, but it doesn't have to be too polished. We can have a little messy pieciness to it. So now that I see what I like, actually I'm going to put one more bobby pin in here. So how's that looking? Can you see the form? I think it looks okay. So now that we like our shape, we'll just start taking some pieces and using our hands and just really make it look a little undone. Okay, and we'll play with that a little bit more later. But now let's move on to the back. So now we got the front done. Now let's move to the back. Now this is the fun part. We have a really cool texture here that we can either go through with a brush and just really brush out. We can go in with a comb and comb this and really tease it. But you know what I want to do is just go in with my hands. Always believe in just working with your hands sometime. And I'm going to take sections and starting at the bottom, and I'm going to just move this out the way and just start taking sections and just using your fingers and just start pushing and just start to really loosen this up and just start to build the texture. I really want to still show some of that zigzag texture that we put in there, so I'm not going to go through and brush it and tease it too much. I'm going to just go in with my fingers and really start to break this shape up. Now, the more we tease and keep pushing, the bigger it's going to get. So this is something we can just sit here and have some fun with and just start to really build this texture out. And when we shoot it, I think it'll be really cool to have these different textures in here and then really trying to capture this maybe from a profile angle where we can see all the different textures that we have. So I'm going to just take section by section and just go in with my fingers and just start to just push this and really start to build this shape up. Now what's cool is Sam has really full hair, so as we were really going in here, this shape is really going to build up. So I'm just taking sections and just really just start to push this and start building up this texture. So there's no wrong or right way how to do this. Just in my opinion, if you get a really good look at the end, that's what it's really all about. And just creating a really cool shape with it. Instead of having just like a ratted tease mess, just keep looking at it, stand on the side and look at what you're getting. Maybe even turn it to the front and start to visualize the shape that you're starting to get. Okay, just taking sections, I'm holding it on the ends, and with my fingers, I'm just going in and then just pushing it. Now notice I'm not using any hairspray yet either. After I like what I see, then I'll go in with a little bit of hairspray, but this texture will really hold on its own. Okay, we can just start expanding that and just continually just build this shape up. Again, the longer the hair, the fuller the hair, the bigger this will be. So to finish up, I'm just going to take just a little section underneath here just to hide our rubber band. So I just pulled the little section underneath just to cover up this band. Then what I'll do, I'll bring it back to the bottom here and then secure it with the bobby pin. So to recap, we used our flat iron for many purposes on this style. On the top, just putting a little curl in so that we can set our pinup style. Here in the back, we really got a really cool texture using the foil, zigzagging it, and hitting it with the flat iron. So this is Sam's finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it.